Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Oh, it's good to be back. I feel like I haven't streamed in a few days. Right, where are we? We're in Manchester. Manchester Airport in the north of England. And we're heading down to Palma de Mallorca. It's a nice little flight today. Looking forward to it. Hey Smee, how's it going? Yeah, cool. Should be a cool flight this. I am looking forward to it. Shout out to Harry. He recommended it. I'll be honest, it came just at the right time. I was kind of thinking like yesterday, all day yesterday, I was like, where am I going to fly tomorrow? Where am I going to fly tomorrow? It's a funny week this week in terms of scheduling. Normal schedule, completely out the window. So don't be thinking about the normal schedule this week. But yeah, we've got some nice time today to do a flight, start a bit later, we can do a cold and dark, we can take our time getting there, we can do a go around if we need to. There's no time pressure. Harry, there you are. I decided to take you up on your idea. So thank you for the suggestion. Like I say, I was not sure where to fly this time yesterday. I was like, oh, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? But this is a cool route. I'm glad you suggested it. I've landed in Palma before. In fact, Palma is one of my best YouTube shorts ever. I did a YouTube short in an Airbus A320 landing there, where I did like a dual perspective. So I think it was one view. Half of the screen was out the cockpit, the other screen was out the window. I don't know why, but that one just took off like crazy. No pun intended. None of my other videos have ever gotten views like that. So I don't really know why that is. YouTube is weird. Very weird in some ways. Like, one video will just skyrocket and another one will be like, nope, no good. It's like, but they're the same type of video. Why do you like one and not the other? What have I got to do? Anyway. Oh no, sweet, you're sick. Oh, I hope you get well soon. Right, let's get this thing fired up, shall we? Man, my mouse feels very sensitive this morning. Alright, let's import the plan from SimBrief. There we go. Manchester. It's all looking good. I like to see a nice low wind speed. always reassures me. It's like, oh, thank goodness, no crosswind live on stream. Let's get the thing fueled. Yeah, I thought it didn't do that. It's too much fuel. There we go. Perfect. Payload. Download that.
Boarding completed.
Full bus today. It was a long time ago, Harry. When was it? I'm trying to think where I flew from. I've got a funny feeling it was like Amsterdam or somewhere in that region. In the Headwind A330. It's weird, like a lot of YouTube shorts, you upload them and they'll go from nothing to like 2,000 views.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight.
Yeah,
we're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way.
Yeah.
Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
Please don't hesitate to ask. You still having issues with that screen? Yeah, just get rid of it, sweet. Get rid of it. Get it gone. Get it gone. You don't need it. Get another one. Right. Batteries. Ground power. APU master. 1, 2, 3, and then do start. Oh, no way, I didn't know that, Harry. Okay, navs are on. tempting to do this without any form of checklist, see if I can remember it off by heart. Which increases the risk of a failure, of course, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Do you play any other sort of games, Swee, besides Flight Sim? Just like thinking like what screen might be good for you. Right, APU bleed on. Right, oxygen crew supply. Fuel pumps. On the emergency lights. No smoking to on. Nav and logo. Valorant, okay, yeah, so you need as many frames as you can get then with Valorant, don't you? Yeah, I love me some Valorant. It brings out the very worst in me, I can assure you. I get very angry when I lose. Well, not when I lose, it's like when you turn a corner, it's like bang. It's like, oh, that's it then. I'll wait the rest of this round out then. Never tried. What is Roblox? Is it like Minecraft? I don't really get what it is. Right, I can't see any white lights anyway, so that's good. Ooh, wrong button. Oh, I know what I need to do. Is turn off that. Okay, let's see if we can get ourselves a flight plan. So ATSU to start. AOC menu. Then init data request, so that will go and speak to SimBrief and get our plan. Oh wait, I know what I've done. That was it. It's going to take ages, isn't it? Basically a lot of games in one platform. Oh, okay. So it's like a mini sort of dev kit. Let's go to our flight plan. What are we? Runway 23. Right. One of these days I'm going to remember. I make my flight plan, then I immediately forget where we're going. Okay, so we need, hopefully it's on here, Samba 1R. There it is. "5 minutes until that nav's going to align." Ugh. Have to chat amongst ourselves. Now what about when we come into Palma? I'm going to use runway 6 left and lorry 1R. Let me just consult a chart a moment. Okay. 3 minutes until we get our nav. Let's look at local pressures while we're doing that. Local pressure on the ground here in Manchester, 1019. Do that. Zero 19. 1019. Now then, what's the plan as we come out? Right up to flight level 370. No messing around today. And there we stay. Until Pushback. We go down to 7,000. Then down to 250 knots. Well, obviously we'd need to be at 250 way before this waypoint. We've got to be at 7,000. Well, we don't have to be at 7,000. We need to be above 7,000. So 250, 230, slowing us down, decel, 5,000. Alright then, well let's have, we'll have 37,000 in the window. Play CAD? You mean COD? Season 2 today. Let's go. I'm excited for that. Feels like it's a little bit make or break for the game, to be honest with you. People don't seem to be all that happy. Let's get the screens brightened up. Bevy, where have you been? We've missed you. How are you? You okay? Party started. Bevy's here. Welcome aboard, Bevy. Yeah, so Season 2 drops at about 6 PM today, our time. I say our time, my time, UK time. I imagine some people might be VPNing into like Australia already to try and play it early, but I'd rather do this, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, a lot of people seem unhappy with Call of Duty. I think they feel a little bit like there's been a lack of content because it's been the same old guns that have been 1 minute till IR line. Damn, it's taking ages to step. There it is. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at our plan, shall we? Because we've got a discontinuity as we're coming into Palma, so let's see what that looks like in real terms. Oh, that's fine. Just get to ADX. Come around. I mean, I guess if I... if I clear the discontinuity, it should hopefully go bump, bump, bump. If this was our last waypoint, my fear would be that it would sort of cut a massive corner and bring us in like that. I may just leave that as it is. I'll leave the discontinuity in place. We'll take manual control at this point, fly ourselves in, and leave it at that. Been busy with school. That's the way, baby. That's the way. Do us proud. Right, so we've got a flight plan. Local pressure set. Flight directors are on. We haven't done our performance though, have we? And all our other stuff. Because I've been busy talking about COD. Right, 0 fuel weight. Go. Confirm that. Performance, we would do flaps 5 / no, wait, I'm not in a Boeing. It's 1 / UP0.1. I think the flexed attempt doesn't really matter in our case because we was going for toga thrust anyway. But whatever, put something in there. Your only concern is you don't want it to turn into Fortnite. Yeah, I must admit, when I first started playing it, just like the general vibe I thought was a bit weird. Like I kind of thought it was going to be a bit more military and true to life than the original. I'm talking about the original design, like back in the Verdansk days. And then, yeah, all these people running around in ridiculous costumes and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But it's fine. The game held up, so. Right, let's turn on our weather door. Get those set. Throttle levers are idle. Fuel pumps are off. Dare I say it, I think we're ready for a pushback. Let's see if our little tool can do it for us. Yeah, I don't know, Harry. I kind of feel like if I like a game, that almost dooms it to failure. It feels like every time I'm like, oh, this game's really good, then people start hating on it. I'm like, oh, maybe I just don't understand what a good game is in that case. That'll do us just about there. Wait, what? Every Lufthansa aircraft is grounded? Why? Oh, their systems, no way. Oh, that's gotta suck. Go. flaps out to 1. Oh man, cyber attacks suck. They really, really do. Let's get this into auto standby. Okay, now we should be able to do AP bleed off at this point. Let's brighten these screens up actually. Put our parking brake on and the tug should let us down. There we go. And then the tug will go. Yeah, what is the PTU? I don't actually know what that is. Okay, APU is off. We'll do strobes to auto. Those lights to taxi. We'll leave runway turn off lights because we don't actually need them. It's broad daylight. Auto brake max. Arm the spoilers. Controls are working. More importantly, my joystick. Alright, let's get our engine selector switch back into normal.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Let's go and have a little taxi down, shall we? Oh, Bevy. I'm sorry to hear that. Thoughts are with you at this time. Weird. Just testing the brakes, don't mind me. So we need to get down there somewhere, don't we? Go down to the end and then loop back around. I tell you what, it's on the list, sweet. I made the decision the other night. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to learn bat sim. It may be we have to do shorter flights because I can't risk getting held up. Like I say, this is a bit of a holiday week here for us, really, so this is why I'm not too worried about time today. But in normal times, like, I have to be gone by 12:30 in the afternoon on a Monday and a Wednesday. Like, I can't be late. It's just not on the table. So yeah, like a flight where the other day we did Alicante back to Leeds, I think. That filled the entire time we had. Now, had I been waiting on controllers, got put in a hold, that would have just not worked out. So we'd have to be quite careful about our routes. Maybe we just need to do that a little bit more. Here we go. Lights on. Do takeoff config test. Normal. Cabin's ready. Let's go out and see what's going on. I suppose we could have gone down a bit further, but we can jump on here. That's okay. We won't need the whole runway. Oh, the Space Centre's cool. Where's that? That is, I remember going there, and it was, I'd been to Loughborough, and it was on the way back down south, if I recall. Damn, we are quite far down the runway, aren't we? Right, we'll be okay. Right. Let's go to Palma, shall we? Right. Let's do takeoff thrust, hold it on the brakes. Let's go. Forgot to turn yoke cam on there. And rotate. Gear up. Fly ourselves to the first waypoint. Leave a climb. Looks like we could do with being zoomed in a touch more on this map here. There we go. Getting bumped around a little bit. There's a little bit of wind, isn't there? ourselves right on that flight path. There we go. A little bit off, but that's okay. I'll get autopilot on. Yeah, I'm in awe of anyone that's flying the 747 at the moment. I spent some time yesterday with the Salty Sims mod. I thought to myself I wouldn't go live yesterday, but I spent some time doing some little bits around the sim that I always put off. It's one of those where my only time to stream is, or my only time to fly is when I stream. So anything else that I need to do, like installing aircraft, installing airports, making sure it works, kind of hard to find the time. So yesterday I took some time, got the Salty Sims mod installed, started learning it, how it integrates with SimBrief, learning all of the little nuances. And I started trying to do some landings. That's how I got that landing video yesterday into Vegas. Man, is that thing difficult to land. So difficult. It makes the 737 look easy. Am I a student? No, not a student. I've been a student for many years. I'm a student of life. But how are you? Welcome aboard, Furt. Good to see you. I feel like I'm forgetting something. It's probably standard pressure, isn't it? That's what it is. Okay. So we can get rid of the ground spoilers being armed. No smoking lights are on, seatbelt lights are on. 3.7 in the window. Gear is up. MSFS student. Honestly, like, you say that? I presume there's a little bit of a joke in there, but I think that's kind of why I do like the game. It's not a game, it's a simulator. But I think it's why I like it. It's one of those where there's always something more to learn. Doesn't matter how much you know. Doesn't matter how many landings you do, how many procedures you think you know. There's always something that reveals itself, and you're like, God damn, I didn't know that. So it's like a journey that never ends. I think that's kind of what I like about it. Very cool. And then when you've learned everything, just go into a different plane and it's like you don't know anything again. You can start all over again. It says hold on. We're holding on for. Yeah, I think with the 747, the reason why it's so difficult to land, it just feels so heavy. So heavy, so it's really hard to get that kind of buttery touchdown that we've become accustomed to with these smaller jets. got to get everything perfect. Absolutely perfect. Like that video that I made yesterday, put up on the channel, I think that maybe took 6 or 7 takes. Like prior to that, it was just like crash, crash, crash. I mean, not crashing, but like the sound it makes when you touch down hard, kind of like everything's falling out of the galleys kind of sound. Welcome back, Foot. Welcome back. Good to see you again in the chat. I feel like I haven't seen you in the chat for ages. Welcome back. Oh, you're in the A310, nice. Gatwick to LFPG, where is that? Is that France? Yeah, Paris. Charles de Gaulle. That's a nice little flight, that. It's one of those where it's not too long, it's not too short, it's just right. Every time I'm streaming you, never mind. Nice to see you anyway. I'll be honest, Harry, I mean, I don't hate it, but I was a little bit disappointed when they announced that was what the aircraft we were getting was. I was like, oh, no A350 then, or no A330, A340, A310? I was like, really? Okay. Specifically, what is it you both don't like about it? I mean, I've never really flown it. I did one landing into JFK just to, you know, I did it off stream. I just did it for a laugh, really, just to see what was what. It felt okay, but I don't know. Feels like a bit of a weird aircraft. It's like no one really uses it. It was weird when it was new. So it's like A330 coming 14th of March. Is that the Aerosoft one you're talking about? Never follows approach mode, really? A330-900. So, Foot, what are you talking about? Who's making this A330 that you're talking about? Because I'm thinking about the Aerosoft A330. But it was my understanding that was an A330-300. And you're talking about an A330-9. So you've got me confused now, which isn't unusual. I'm a bit stupid. Oh, I thought they were doing a 300, not a 900. I think we're probably talking about the same thing, Foot. I need to update the description to include the yoke. Not today, Rob, we're flying Airbus. Come on, get with it. Keep up. Airbus don't have no stinking yoke. They have one of these. Sidestick. And then this is like a little table that comes out. I put on yoke cam. I've got this one here, flying Airbus. This one here for Boeing. My throttles over here. Just whiling away the hours until season 2. I thought we already had a headwind A320-900. I thought you're confusing me. We're going to have to start Googling in a minute. Still waiting for your loop-the-loop. Oh yeah, Rob, Harry in the chat is a COD player. Just got a 5-day cooldown on building 21. Didn't know that was a thing. So Rob and I have only just got into building 21, and suffice to say, we didn't last long. So the headwind, but the headwind A330-900 is already out, so that's, yeah, it's an update, as you said. Okay. Honestly, the plane to me is fine. I mean, I know the cockpit's probably not completely accurate, but I think all I want them to fix is the call-outs. So it's like when you're landing, it will go 50, 40, 30, 20, and then when it says 10, that's when you touch down. So it's almost like the ground level is offset by 10 foot, and it always catches me out, because even when I hear 20, I know it should be 10, but then when I hear 10, I think, oh, that's 10. I don't know, I can't handle it. I guess it's because it's a fork of this plane, isn't it? It's a fork of the A320, which is a smaller plane, much smaller plane. So I guess there must be like a 10-foot difference between where the landing gear sort of dangles when it's down. So it's probably saying 10, thinking where the A320's gear would be, but the A330's gear hangs lower, which is why it touches down at like 10 feet and not 0 feet. You did minus 60 with the 747, that's decent. What optimizations have I done to my system? I don't mind you asking. I do not mind you asking. I really haven't done a lot. I quite often get people asking me, can you do a video about your graphics settings? Because like, I just set it to high and turn on DLSS. And that's kind of it. I suppose it has changed a little bit in the last fortnight, because I've moved from a 1440p gaming monitor to now I'm at a 4K TV, so I've got more of a setup for the flight simming compared to what I had before. And it's only a kind of rubbishy 60Hz 4K TV. It's not really like a fancy one. It's really nice, but it doesn't have vertical sync, variable refresh, doesn't have any of that stuff. So if you're not at 60 FPS, you get at like a locked 60, you get screen tearing, which is quite annoying. So you have to turn on vertical sync, but then that means you need to be at 60 FPS all the time, or vertical sync starts stuttering, so if you go beneath 60 then vertical sync can't cope. But you can set vertical sync to do 50%, a 50% frame cap over your monitor, monitor's refresh rate. So if your monitor's refresh rate is 60 Hz, set it to 50% of your monitor's refresh rate. So then vertical sync runs at 30 frames a second, like a locked 30. Obviously that then divides into 60, so it gives the TV 2 frames. It gives every frame twice, and you get a nice smooth 30 frames a second experience at 4K, which is what we're doing now. It's really weird because I've spent like the last 2 years absolutely obsessing over frame rates. Like Rob will tell you, if I'm getting like 90 FPS in Warzone, I'm hovering over the buy button of a new graphics card. Like, this is unacceptable. Whereas in Flight Sim, it's like this is a completely different mindset. You don't need many frames at all. 30 is fine. I mean, look at how slowly those fields are moving beneath us. Like, they're barely moving at all. And even when you come into land, it's like there's not a lot really moving on the screen very quickly. It's not like you're playing a twitchy shooter where you need to do a 180 and slide and then turn again. But then you need all the frames you can get. But this, you don't. I'm not sure you need it. Now, would I take more frames? Of course I would. If I had a 4090, would I lock it to 60? Would I upgrade the TV to 120 Hz? Probably. But the reality is, this is actually fine. Sweet, you say you don't understand how I got DLSS looking so good. I don't know, like DLSS to me has always been good. Never had issues with DLSS. It's like a little box of magic. I think it depends what resolution screen you're in. So I can tell you that when I ran DLSS on my 1440p monitor, it didn't look as good as DLSS looks now on my 4K monitor. Because when obviously when you're on a 1440p screen and you set DLSS to say, I don't know, balanced or performance, the resolution it starts at is much lower, and then it scales it up to 1440p. When you're at 4K, the resolution it starts at is a bit higher before it then stretches it to 4K. So the screens can go blurry, you're quite right. If we hop into, I can't see it now, but like when these sort of tapes are sort of scrolling when you're climbing, they can go a little bit blurry. But I think there is going to be workarounds for that. Ultimately, it depends on the...
Once again, the flight deck, your captain speaking. We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As you begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle as the flight is coming through the cabin with galley cards shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley where the flight deck door is located.
Morning, Jalise. Nice to see you. So I got London out the window. In fact, you can just see Heathrow. Just see it down there. The big smoke. What monitor do I have? So my gaming monitor, so the stuff that I play Call of Duty on, Valorant, all that stuff, I've got a Dell S2721DGFA, I think it's called. So it's a 1440p 165Hz. Uses the same panel as the LG GL27 GL850, I think it's called. That was like widely considered to be one of the best 1440p monitors a little while ago. So Dell bought the panel off of LG, put it in their own casing, overclocked the panel slightly to 165Hz over the 144 that LG did it at. I don't know what it is with monitor brand. Like, why do they name their monitors such stupid names? Like, it just makes absolutely no sense. Am I a southerner? Yeah, I'm afraid so. I consider Bristol to be the north. Yeah, then for the TV, I've got like an LG 43-inch 4K TV. I couldn't tell you what the name of it is. Probably something equally as stupid as the Dell monitor, but it's basically one of those LG TVs that you can pick up for like 300 or 400 quid, like 4K, 60 hertz. It's alright though, quite pleased with it. Screen refresh rate, yeah, that's it. You see, I think there's a way with DLSS, because it runs at an engine level, as opposed to like FSR that just takes the entire output and then scales that. So DLSS, you can switch things on and off and say, no, don't DLSS that bit of the screen. So like if you go into like a menu, there's no point DLSSing a menu. Like just run the menu normally. So similarly, you could say DLSS the 3D cockpit, but don't DLSS the navigation display, because it's just a navigation display. But then that takes work on the part of the developers. We seem to be going a little bit off course according to our map. But we are on course according to the plane, so I don't know what to tell you. Right, it's a cup of coffee time. Harry, you tempted me into it. It's your fault. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back with coffee. Good luck with the landing foot. There might be a good time to actually look at our top of descent planning, just so we've got a vague idea in our head, just depending on the approach. Here we go, Pushback. Now we can put this into progress. So is it Pushback? P-O-S-B-A. 642 miles. Now that is as the crow flies. That doesn't take into account our flight plan. But I mean, it's basically a straight line anyway, so take it with a pinch of salt. $622. What is that? What is it? 7,000 at Pushback, didn't it? So we're at 37,000, we're going down to 7,000. Call it 2,000 feet a minute, 107 miles required. You've got my coffee in game. You know what, I saw a Blender texture pack the other day where you can make your own design for the cup. I was tempted to just put like air knot across it. Right, we'll do a poll. You can all decide on what our next view is. Alright, wing view it is. Oh, my bad. Actually, you know what I need to do? And forgive me, it's just going to be annoying for a moment. Did you want this wing view or the wing view we had before? I mean, that's kind of what I put the engine view as. How do I change the view? So I set up loads of views. So I've got an Xbox controller that I use as well. So I kind of moved the camera around. Then if you do Control Alt and then press a number, that will then save that view. So then if you just do Alt, so no control, just Alt, and then that number, it will take you to the view. So basically whenever I change view, I go Alt 1, Alt 2, so this is Alt 1, I don't know why that is. Alt 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 I think. Yeah, it's the overhead panel. If you go onto flightsim.to, you can get some camera packs where people have already made these, and then you just swap out a file in one of the. It tells you where the folder is usually. It will depend, vary on where it is depending on where you bought the game from. If it's on Steam or if you got it on the Xbox store or like through Game Pass. Yeah, so you can do it. So technically, I think this is still a cockpit view, despite the fact we're looking at the wing. So you might hear like the alarms in the cockpit from here, even though obviously as a passenger you would never hear that. It's a little bit of a fiddle to get it to do this. Yeah, best thing to do, check out the camera packs on flightsim.to. They'll basically give you this, and then you can sort of move around. You can adjust them. So like even with your mouse, like hold right click. If that is your particular, I could do like Control Alt 4 now, and it would save that. Or something like that one. What are all your thoughts on long haul? I've got to be honest, after that last video I did on Sunday, Dubai to Heathrow, the numbers on it were pants. Absolutely pants. Makes me sort of wonder whether long haul is actually a thing people want. Not sure what you mean there, Harry. Have I got carriers? Not sure what you mean, sorry. You know what would be cool, you say about VATSIM Suite? Maybe not VATSIM, but maybe just like a private multiplayer. Where, I don't know, say I was doing a stream, if you all wanted to hop on as well. I could publish like the, I don't know, server address or something. I don't think that really exists though, does it? Basically, if the audience wanted to fly along with me, they could. That's kind of where my mind was going. Bevy could escort us in this paper plane. Yeah, I mean, the numbers that I got for that long haul from Dubai to London were worse than the number. I'm keeping in mind that was a 7.5 hour stream. Those numbers were worse in terms of like YouTube numbers, like viewer retention, viewer numbers, all the metrics that I look at. They were worse than like a 1.5 hour stream I did from like Belfast to Amsterdam. Hey Velis, we were actually just talking about that. No, I don't. Maybe I should do one. Like when we spoke about it, I kind of made light of it, saying that there wasn't much to talk about, but actually I ended up speaking for about 5 minutes about it. So maybe I should do one. I feel like my situation is quite specific though, with the monitor I have and things like that. I'll gladly do one though. Gladly do one. That's something I want to do for the channel over the coming months, I suppose, is start branching out the styles of content. I'm a little bit concerned that if I just keep streaming and keep making landing videos, people are going to get bored. So maybe we could explore some like add-ons, do some videos where we just talk about various topics within the flight sim world. I don't know, like if a new tool comes out that, like I don't know, like when GSX Pro came out, for example, I could maybe have got that and made a video about it. That sort of thing, you know. I don't know whether that would be of any interest to many people. But you can fly in a private multiplayer server if you invite the people. Oh. So no third-party add-ons, just like Microsoft-y multiplayer. Well, there's a thought. I was just about to say that, so maybe I'll wait till Sim Update 12, then do the video in the context of Sim Update 12. But that could be cool then. I guess I'd have to publish my gamer tag, and then if you wanted to, you could join up that way. And I'd potentially get spammed by loads of idiots. I bought it on Steam. This is where you tell me it's not going to work, because I bought it on Steam. No! Yes, I do. I've got an Xbox again. I guess maybe I could make a separate one. I think it does work on Steam. It's kind of like if you buy like Halo on Steam, you can still be friends with like Xbox people. It's still all very Xboxy, it's just via Steam. Okay, what I might do, I might make a separate account then. Because the one I'm logged into now is kind of like for all my actual gaming outside of Flight Sim. So maybe I'll make like an Air Nom account or something like that. That'd be cool. You wanted to fly too. Have a little convoy to somewhere. You'll have to leave my stream on in the background though if you're flying with me, otherwise I won't get watch eyes. I'd actually be harming my channel. All my viewers will just turn it off and play. Damn it. I need those watch hours. Get the channel monetized, hopefully. Start paying some of this electricity. Put my PC goggles while I fly. Yeah, so I've done global multiplayer before. That's like when you just get people that cut you up, like you're on Final Approach, and I forget where I was on Final Approach into Dubai once. This was before I had the channel, but I just did it for no reason really. I just flew to Dubai and I was on Final Approach and it was all going so well. And then like literally a 747 sort of came above me and over me. I was like, Right, okay then, that's how it is. I guess on a global multiplayer server though, that's just like everyone would be on there, potentially. I think I like the idea of that more, flying with sort of friends of the channel versus VATSIM. I'd still like to learn VATSIM, to be clear. I'd still like to get into that. I will be playing COD tonight, Harry. I absolutely will be playing COD. In fact, when I get done with this, I'm going to go and get some lunch. I'm going to take the dog for a walk, and I'm probably going to play COD all afternoon. Try and level up some guns while we wait for Season 2 to drop. I'll put a link to my channel. I've got another channel for all my COD stuff. I'm very aware that it's not everyone's cup of tea that would be into flight sim, so I've put it on a completely separate channel. If anyone wants to come over, that's absolutely fine, you're more than welcome. But if you don't, I understand. Yeah, I was live on there a little bit yesterday, just kind of noodling around, trying to... I need to get some COD points, basically. I've got 800 COD points, and you need 1,000 to buy the Battle Pass that's going to come out later. So I need to work my way through. I've managed to find an optimal route through the remaining Battle Pass to get an extra 200 COD points. So I'll probably be trying to work towards that later while levelling my remaining weapons. Hey, well done, Foot. You landed. That's the main thing. Are you flying on VATSIM, Foot, or are you just on normal multiplayer? That's interesting you said that, because we're over France now. I believe with live weather. Let me check. Yep. Yeah, I'm still not sure about long haul. I keep thinking about it. Seems like a good idea until you actually have to do it. I mean, even if I had a whole day free, like today, I'm not sure I'd want to be sat here for 8 hours. I think people would get bored. I would get bored. I like the shorter flights, kind of like this. I mean, 2 hours is a nice amount. Gives us a chance to have a chat, make a coffee, chill out, enjoy the views, and then before you know it, it's kind of time to start coming back down. I think really what I do prefer is even shorter ones where we do a return journey. So I don't know if we did Gatwick to Dublin and back, because there's not that much time in cruise. Most of the stream is spent doing stuff, either climbing, descending, landing, prepping the plane. Whereas long haul, I think you lose some of that. No worries, but see you in a minute. Enjoy. We're about 300 miles from top of descent. You somehow managed to get your sim running in ultra settings with the Phoenix. That's awesome. What system do you have? So you got quite a strong CPU. That's going to be helping. My plane experiences is here. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome on into the stream. Yeah, a little way to go yet. Little way to go. 390 miles to our waypoint, where we need to be at 7,000 feet. So we've got a minute or two yet. That's really amazing, Sweet, if you can, if you've managed to do that. The Phoenix is quite demanding, isn't it, for FPS? Am I right in saying that? I don't have the Phoenix, so I don't know. What I can tell you from my own experience is running the sim on my Dell gaming monitor, so obviously that's a 165Hz monitor, so I let the sim run without any frame rate cap because it's never going to exceed 165, and if it runs at anything less than 165 the monitor locks its frame rate to whatever the sim is providing, so in theory it should run perfectly smoothly whether it's jumping up and down between 60 to 90 maybe. But since moving to 4K, locking it to 30 FPS with VSync, the stutters have decreased massively. Quite often used to be like on final, you'd get like these really big stutters. I haven't had them in a while. So I don't know whether locking the sim at 30 FPS, everything just is under less strain. Like the GPU's not working as hard, the CPU doesn't have to work so hard. Yeah, like G-Sync, sweet. Except this is like FreeSync Premium, or whatever they call it, but it works with Nvidia graphics cards. Variable refresh rate is the technical term. It's just G-Sync is more of a marketing thing. And they tried to make monitor manufacturers put in proprietary Nvidia chips in their monitors to make it work, and it didn't really pan out for them because FreeSync came out and everyone was like, sweet, we use FreeSync because that's free. Hence the name, FreeSync. Yeah, obviously the TV I'm on now doesn't have G-Sync or FreeSync or anything like that. So if you're not at 60, you get that sort of tearing across the screen. And the 3070, even with DLSS, really struggled to do a smooth 60, so I locked it at 30. Oh, no way. So Lufthansa is down. SAS is also having problems. Oh, I feel so bad for their IT team. It's dreadful. It's one of those where it's kind of like you're to blame, but it's not your fault. Like ultimately those criminals broke in. But then it's like, as the IT people, what more could you have done to have prevented it? And the answer is probably something. It's awful. It's a horrible position to be in. I wonder if it's made it to the BBC News yet. That's when you know it's serious. Can't see anything yet. But then Nicola Sturgeon has decided to resign, so like the whole of the front page is that. Nothing on the BBC News website. Scandinavian, isn't it, Sass? No, Sweet, I don't have a Discord actually. It's something I've been looking at though, or thinking about. Yeah, some people keep asking me for it, so I'm wondering whether it's something I should do. It's just something else to moderate, which is what puts me off. That's okay, Sweet, I can get it set up. It's just whether I actually want it. that's the question I'm wrestling with. It's I've done stuff like this before, moderating sizable Slack channels, things like that. And my experience is it all starts nicely, but then as it gets busier and busier and busier, problems can arise. Yeah, you're right. I will look into it. I will look into it. Yeah, like there was issues where like I think some people fell out. And it was like, oh, this is awkward, because now you've kind of got to deal with it, because both sides come to you complaining about the other person. It's like, oh, no. Both of you want me to do something about it, and whatever I do is going to be wrong. Do you think the mini-map would be more effective if it was zoomed out a bit more? Because at the moment, looking at it, I don't have a clue where we are. But if we zoom it out a bit, we might. Let's see if I can zoom it out a bit. Where's my mouse? Out of the way. go, that's nice. I think that gives you a little bit of context. Thoughts on that? I think from that view we can blatantly see we're over France and we're most of the way down. I think we've got enough context of the broader route. I've tried it really small so I can get the whole route on, but then it just seems like everything's too small. Discord server would be handy though, especially if we were to do like private multiplayer, sort of for like coordinating that. Stansted to Tenerife. That could be a cool route. What would that be, about 3.5, 4 hours? We've got the time this week, so potentially we could. That'd be a long old cruise though, wouldn't it? I guess it depends if people like the cruise part of the stream or not. I'm curious, like what do you think is the best part of the stream? Is it like the beginning when we're on the ground setting up and taking off and then the landing? Or is it this bit? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm the same. Like, I find that the stream goes really quickly if there's a chat, but sometimes you go live and that's not the case. It's just one of those things with doing it live. Sometimes just no one turns up. That's fine. Like, you can't expect everyone to turn up all the time. You can't expect anyone to... Yeah, people don't owe me a damn thing, so it's like I can't expect anything of people in that sense. It would be wrong of me to do that. But yeah, if there's an active chat, I feel like I have a much better time streaming. If the chat is dead, and then I start to be like, oh, I can't just keep talking nonsense, rambling away. That's generally when I'll do video editing on my laptop. But then that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then if I'm not chatting, people who turn up will think, oh, the stream's really quiet and boring, and then I'll go. So then it never gets better. It's tricky. Welcome back, sweet. Welcome back. Hey, Beluga, how you doing? Nice to see you in the stream. Often see you in the comments with videos and stuff. You okay? Hope all is well. Spoilers view, of course we can. It's doing good, nice. What is that river down there? That's a windy, windy river, isn't it? Two rows forward. I don't know if I've got that view set up. I have that view. Any good? How's that? No worries. Catch you later. Cheers for dropping in. Yeah, I quite like this one too. I think you get to see a bit more of what's beneath you, especially. Point the camera down a bit. I really hope they do an update to stop all this like shadow flicker stuff. You sometimes get it on the window frames. Like there on the right. Just completely ruins the whole vibe in my opinion. Apparently it's a DirectX issue. And some said the X12 would fix it, but obviously it didn't. I don't know, I don't necessarily buy that it's a DirectX issue. Like, there's loads of games that are made in DirectX that don't have that, so... yeah, I don't know. What's my favourite airlines or airline? Depends what you mean. If you mean my experience as a passenger in real life, I'd probably say Virgin Atlantic. great time going across to America with them on a couple of occasions. They definitely look after you very well. It's a different experience going sort of transatlantic. Once you get off the EasyJets and the Ryanairs and you step onto one of those, it's like, okay, this is a different game. Completely different. I was very fortunate, got to fly on a 747 with them to Vegas in 2015. And looking back on it, that's probably my last chance to get on one, really. Such a big aircraft. It was the length of it that surprised me more than anything, because we were sat quite near the stairs at the front where you would go up to like first class. Obviously we were not in first class, we were down the bottom, but there was a point in the flight, I think when we were still climbing, that I was on the edge near the aisle, and I turned my head back and looked down to the end of the plane, and I was just like, that is such a long way back there. It was just incredible how long the thing was. And we were climbing, so as I looked back, it was almost like it was all sloping away from me, which made it look even further away. It's just one of those moments where you think, blimey, we're going so fast, we're so heavy, we're so big, and it's all just happening. Beautiful plane though. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, no way. I think Sim Toolkit Pro's crashed. Definitely has. I was thinking the map hasn't moved in a while. Let's see if I can load it up. That's better. Yeah, I've never flown with Emirates. I would imagine they're very, very good though. Yeah, just a feeling. Alright, I'm just going to switch sides because we might have some more nicer views in a moment. I'll never forget though, landing into Vegas, they wouldn't let us off the 747 until we'd had a talking to by someone from the Las Vegas, I don't know, commission, whatever they're called. And basically this guy came on the plane, completely took over the plane's tannoy system, or like PA system, whatever it's called, and just gave us like a 5-minute speech on just how hot it is in Las Vegas. How we've been on a plane for 11 hours in, you know, comfortable air conditioning. We've had lots to eat, lots to drink. In some cases, alcohol to drink for some passengers. And he was like, I know it looks like a city, feels like a city, looks like a city, smells like a city. He goes, it is a desert. So don't go anywhere without a bottle of water, and make sure you drink it as you go in, even if you don't feel thirsty. I think he said like odds are that more than one of you on this plane will probably end up being scraped off the pavement by a paramedic. Because you didn't keep yourself hydrated and you got too hot and you passed out. So don't do it. And he wasn't wrong. Blimey. I mean, keep in mind, like, we flew from Gatwick and it was a cold morning, so I was in like a hoodie and jeans. And, like, so obviously when I landed in Vegas, I was in a hoodie and jeans. Stepped outside, I was like, whoa. What is this madness? It's like 43 degrees or whatever it was. That's just not funny. Right, we're not a million miles away now from top of descent, so I'm going to quickly go and grab a drink, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. Oh no, sweet, what's happened? Good news and bad news. Right, give me the good news first. Hey, Pixel, how's it going? Yeah, damn it, Pixel, come on. What are we playing at? Wait a minute. Good news is I still have the Lenovo warranty, so I can replace the monitor. The bad news, I can't get a refund or get another monitor. Why? How long have you had it? You haven't had it very long, have you? You inside of 14 days? Pixel, you're going to be playing COD later. Season 2. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair enough then. Yeah, sorry, sweet. I thought you only had it like a week. That would make sense. Well, maybe it's not so bad because you got a really good price on it, didn't you? So if they're going to replace it, that means that you still maintain having got it at a really good price, and hopefully you get a monitor that works. So it's actually kind of good. Look at it that way. I don't know what it's. I don't know like where you're from or where it works in your region, but I know here in the UK we've got the Consumer Rights Act. So a manufacturer, if you've had something for longer than it's either like 28 days or 30 days or whatever, I think it's 28 days. Don't quote me on that. If something goes wrong within that 28 days, you're entitled to a refund. If it goes wrong after 28 days, the manufacturer is entitled to repair it. However, if they repair it and it goes wrong again for the same reason, then you're into refund territory. So let them have a shot at it. Obviously, I don't know if those rules would translate into whatever region you're from. It might be worth looking up what those rules are where you're from. Moment of silence, indeed. It's a nice 165 Hz as well, Pixel. Sad times. Alright, I need to jump into the cockpit and actually attempt to be a pilot. So we need 103 miles to descend down to 7,000 feet. Now I'm going to make that 110 because we need to slow ourselves as well because we're going beneath 10,000 feet. I'm not sure this is accounted for that. Now, the waypoint we're going to is Pushback, which is just there, look. Now, keep in mind that if we go to the progress screen and it gives us 138 miles to Pushback, why are my screens so dim? 136, that is as the crow flies. That's better. But our route may well be as the crow flies anyway. More or less. So where is Pushback exactly? Let's go into plan up here, have a look. Dum, dum, dum. Yeah, so Pushback, there's a tiny little kink, but there's nothing much. So that is basically as the crow flies. It'll be a minute or two before the landing yet, Pixel. Got to get down yet. Still at cruise. So we've got, I'm going to give us another 15 miles, thereabouts. Oh, I'm glad we can provide you some relaxing white noise, Pixel. Man, this part of France is just awesome. You have 3 years right to complain, but you're only entitled to a refund. Yeah, but what about if they've repaired it or replaced it? If you're sending it back under warranty, and they've already had one stab at it, if it then goes wrong a second time, that's when you should know what your options are legally, because that might get you out of the whole thing. That's my point. I think that's Nice down there, isn't it? Is it Nice? I don't know, actually. It's either Nice or Marseille. No, definitely not Nice. It's all Nice is like miles away. Forget I said anything. Well, I would just let them swap it for you. So as you say, you're happy with the monitor, got it at a great price. Imagine if they refunded you and you wanted to buy the same thing again and it had gone up by like $150. Yeah, that's right. We've got the distance selling act here as well. And that's, yeah, it's again like 14 days. And you can just like look at it and be like, nah, actually it's not what I thought it was, and just send it back as long as you haven't damaged it or anything like that. Right, time to descend. Otherwise we're going to run late. We're getting distracted. I may need to descend slightly quicker. Talking about refunding monitors. Here we go. Let's go. Let's put in our destination data while we're here, shall we? So, performance page, next phase. Here we go. So,
flight deck, ladies and gentlemen. As you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
1029. QNH. Temperature on the ground is 15 with a 60-degree wind, 4 knots. 60 and 4 is nice. I like that. I like that. No stupid crosswinds for me to have to deal with on stream. Always happy with that. Streamlabs? No, nothing to do with Streamlabs. I don't use Streamlabs. I use OBS. But yeah, you're thinking of like what is all the stuff at the top on the map? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. That is from a piece of software called SimToolkit Pro, and it provides those. It provides the map and it provides the data as a web browser source. So I kind of overlay that on top. But the layout on the top bit is custom. What they give you is very, very basic, just like a strip of numbers along the top of the screen. So when I rebranded the channel, not very long ago now, decided to make it all match. Yeah, so I have charts on my sort of laptop, and I've just got an old iPad that I've managed to obtain. Because on the Boeing yoke that I've got now, there's a little holder for an iPad, so you can sort of prop up your iPad or whatever. So I'm going to do that. I use ChartFox for now, mostly because I'm too stingy to pay for Navigraph. But yeah, I take your point. Once you're on VATSIM, ChartFox might not be quite what we need. So I think it's a little bit out of date. Sometimes there just are no charts. Like for this airport, in fact, no charts on ChartFox. No like approach charts, no. As a program. So where does it source its charts from? Okay. I guess my only concern would be, would it be as up to date and usable on VATSIM? I'm just thinking about like the longevity of it. If you pay and then never pay again, how do they keep doing the ongoing work they need to do to make it decent? Maybe I'll give that a go. Cheers for that. Hey Rock Pebbler, how you doing? Yeah, loving the yoke, although not using it on this flight because we're in an Airbus. Yeah, I'm slowly getting there with it though. Slowly getting there. It's been such an adjustment. It really has. Yeah, it really has been an adjustment, because keep in mind, I've never used a yoke. Like in my whole time flight simming, which has been on and off now since I was like 10 years old. It's always been on a stick. So it's so much muscle memory that you build up. Slowly getting the feel of it. Slowly getting the feel. You sort of have to put a lot more into it to get it to do stuff. Like a joystick, a very small movement is all you need. Whereas on a yoke, and you can see it in real life if you look at like various videos on YouTube of like pilots landing 737s into various airports. You can see them sort of like really moving that yoke, like up, down, left, right, bang, bang, bang. And you think, blimey, do they really have to do all that? And it turns out, yeah, you do. Because if you think about it, that is the equivalent of just moving a joystick a very small amount in terms of input. Oh, that's cool, sweet. I'll look into that. I appreciate the tip. Hello, Europe. How you doing, mate? You okay? You're late? No, you're just on time. We're descending. This is where the good bit starts. It's been a lovely flight, actually. It's been a really nice little route. Harry was quite right to recommend it. Yeah, cheers, Europe. I'll try. Be Newcastle all over again. No regrets. So can we see out the window? Yeah, we can. We can just... I think it's the island. Just beneath the clouds. So, transition altitude of 7,000. It's fine. I am going to start getting us slowed down. Because we haven't got very long till we're at the 10,000 feet barrier. I don't think we're descending at a fairly strong rate. I don't think the plane's going to be able to do that on its own. Hey, no worries, sweetie. Thanks for stopping by today. It's nice chatting with you as always. You have the Airbus set and the Velocity one. Okay. I'm not familiar with that Velocity yoke. I guess it's a yoke. That should time it just nicely, get to 250 for 10,000. That's good. Right, let's get some lights on, shall we? Start preparing the cockpit. We'll do auto brake medium. So you're considering the Boeing yoke then, Rock Pebbler? I mean, I bought mine on the back of a lot of pilots saying it was good. So what I can tell you, and this is just my personal experience, I went on a 737 sim day in the summer, last summer. And talking to the people there, they were saying that the yoke is a yoke out of a 737 that they'd kind of rewired such that it works with their simulation software. And they said basically you can't get any more real unless you get in a plane. So I was like, okay, fine, and it did feel good. And obviously it's a long time ago, so I can't remember exactly how it felt, but this Thrustmaster yoke feels it resembles it a lot. The way that it kind of overhangs your desk to create that sort of pendular feel, almost like it's anchored to the floor, because that's obviously what they're like in the real plane. Then the anchor point is on the floor and it sort of rocks backwards and forwards. They've done a really good job at simulating that. But be prepared for how big it is. It's absolutely huge. If you imagine you clamp it to your desk, you've got about 30 centimetres of it coming out towards you. So you've actually got to sit quite far from where your desk ends. And the issue I found with that was it sat me quite a way back from my screen. I couldn't really see an awful lot of what was going on in the sim, like the detail on the screens, I couldn't quite make it out. Hence I moved to a 43-inch TV at that point. Alright, here we go. So, POSBA, we need to be at 7,000 feet, which we're just arriving at. Let's have a look at our plan. So by the next waypoint, Nudza, need to be at 250 knots, which we are. Then by the time we get around to this waypoint here, and of course I need to do standard pressure. Take that off. What are we at now? 1029. Of course now we're at 7,400, now we've adjusted the altimeter. So where do we need to go? ADX 5,000 feet. So as long as we're at 5,000 by there, we should be good. Hey, no worries. Glad it could help. Yeah, very, very pleased with it. It's just a lot of money, isn't it? Oh, I know the one you mean now, the Turtle Beach. You say about the velocity. Yeah, I know that one. I think for me, the fact that the Thrustmaster is kind of pendular, that makes all the difference. Because a lot of the other yokes you see are kind of like, they're on a post, aren't they, that you sort of push in and pull out. I guess it depends what you're flying. I mean, if you're flying kind of GA stuff, then that's probably what you want. But for me, I like the bigger airliners. And in almost all cases, that's how they kind of anchor from the floor. So it's quite nice to get that feeling. So Rock Pebble, you say you were in a 737 10 years ago. You're a pilot? Yeah, I suppose the stickiness, because there's like that point, isn't there, where it naturally wants to rest. Yeah, I see what you mean. With the Boeing yoke, they give you an extra spring in the box, so you can kind of take one of the plates off, like a faceplate, and it comes by default not very tense. And they give you an extra spring in the box that you can add in, which makes it feel more, a little bit heavier, which I think makes it feel more realistic, at least with the limited experience I have. Or rather, it feels more like that simulator I went in, which I was led to believe was as real as you can get without being in the plane itself. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, nice. Yeah, I keep meaning to get into that sim. It's quite intimidating though, I'm not gonna lie. What an amazing approach. Though I will say, it feels like it's bringing us in quite low to this terrain. I mean, it says 7,000. Which is what we're at, but... it does feel a bit on the low side. What a view though, look at that. Coming in as a passenger, seeing that out the window, you must be like, whoa. Hey Tom! Tom, you're just in time, we're about to land. It does feel a little bit uncomfortably close to these mountains though. Yeah, we're right near the tops there, aren't we? And it's taken us right over the highest part. I'll try. I can't make any promises. Right, let's get that speed down to 230. We're getting thrown around a bit, aren't we? Young kids telling you what to do. Yeah, that's not good. There we go. So I think once we clear this mountain range, yeah, the graphics are awesome, aren't they, Tom? So, we are 9 miles from decel, then a further 18 miles until ADX. And ADX is the waypoint where we need to be at 5,000 feet. Then we'll take manual control. And we'll land this thing, hopefully. Yeah, Rock Pebble, it's funny you say about ATC. We were saying earlier that maybe maybe we could do like a private multiplayer session for these streams where you could all sort of join in and we'll do a little convoy together or something like that, you know. I don't know, we'll look into it, see what the practicalities of it are. It could be really cool though. We'll sort of be our own air traffic. We'll be an air traffic cooperative. Although you've all got to promise to leave the stream open on your phone or something while you fly. Because otherwise I won't get any watch hours. It'll kill my stream on my channel. Alright, so we're coming up on decel. It looks like we're past all the mountain ranges. Yeah, so let's get ourselves down to 5,000. We will start decel. That already has. It is something I'd like to explore, that side of it, Rock Pebbler. It's one of those where right now I've got limited times to stream, and my fear is that imagine if we were coming into here and I had like half an hour to go before I literally have to be out the door at a certain time. And imagine if ATC were like, yeah, you need to go into a hold, and then I need to do a go around, and it's like, well, I just have to end the stream mid-air. I think I prefer the idea of a private multiplayer with all of us than I do going on Batsu. Because I think I'd rather be talking to you than talking to controllers during the stream. Not to say I don't want to learn about Batsu, because I think it's great for the knowledge. Hey Kashmir, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming by. Alright. So, get our landing system on. We're going to wait for us to get the glide slope above us. Then we're going to come in on final. I suppose we could actually do a direct 2, couldn't we? Do that. Right, let's do it ourselves. Let's do it ourselves. We'll box it off nicely. Yes, Kashmir, we're coming into land now. So the airport is just out there. Just see it. Oh, you've got a minute or two to go yet. Yeah, you'll be a minute. Right, let's swap the map out. The yoke cam. There we go. Hi guys. Right, feet on rudder pedals. Eyes down for a full house. It's if I do a temporary direct to there, then I also do approach mode. Will that work? I think it will work. So we're coming in at a bit of an angle till we hit the waypoint CF06L. Is the plane going to catch the glide slope at this angle? Is what I'm wondering. Don't think it is it? We'll do it ourselves. Right, speed brakes armed. Flaps are full, auto brake medium, lights are on. Yes, Tom, still very much learning the yoke, although getting better every time. Very much enjoying the process though. Very much. Okay. Yeah, so I've got side stick here, throttles over here, yoke in the middle, so regardless of what we're flying, we can we should be okay. Now we're going to bank around. I'm trying to work out where the runway actually is. There it is. It hasn't quite rendered yet, I think that's what it is. Yeah, really impressed though with the yoke, Tom. Absolutely love it. Having a great time with all the learning. Alright, let's straighten ourselves up. Gear down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Okay, so we need to get a little bit over to the left. Let's just adjust my mic here, sorry. And we're a little bit on the low side. So we'll just ease off that rate of descent. And let ourselves get caught up. I'm going to have to ignore the chat for a little bit, just because I can't multitask to save my life. We've got a bit of a crosswind going on at 10 knots, which is more than what was advertised, I hasten to add. I thought we were going to get away with it, but it seems like the wind has decided to change. Well, that wind is definitely keeping me busy. So at what point would the airport disappear and re-render itself? There it goes. I don't know why it does that. But it was fine how it was. Okay, this is where we need to start putting our nose down a little bit. Getting over to the left. But not too much. There we go. Not bad. 7 out of 10. I would give it. We're not going to make that exit, are we? I've just realised I didn't get the call-outs because yesterday, when I was recording my 747 video, all the call-outs were, it kept being like, shouting landing gear, landing gear, landing gear, or something like that when I was trying to do the recording of the video. And obviously the landing gear was fine, but the sim was adamant that it wasn't, so I had to turn those sounds off in the settings, and I never turned them back on for today. There we go then. Right. Yoke cam off. Whoops. Right, let's go find ourselves a gate. Yeah, I'd give that a 7 out of 10. Reasonably smooth. Not quite on the big piano keys there, but near enough. Where am I going? Let's go up here. I'm lost. Is there anywhere for me to park up there? I guess I could go straight ahead. Pop into... It was survivable. That's the way, Tom. Okay, so we can't go in there. Can't go in there. This is us, I think. There we are. Welcome to Palma. Appreciate everyone coming along for today. I had a lovely time. This is a really nice flight. Thank you to Harry for the recommendation. It's a gorgeous airport. Parking brake on. Off the plane down to Magaluf for a Jaeger. Is this where Magaluf is? I did not know that. Get the flaps up. And then engines off. Let's always do that. I need to turn that off. There we have it. Right, I'm going to leave things there, I think. Thank you all very much indeed. Appreciate you all coming. Thanks for your company. I'll probably be back at the same time tomorrow, I would have thought. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Take care.